Now, I can already anticipate some criticisms or critiques. Uh, they haven't happened yet, which in itself is so interesting because I would really have expected them to happen already. So either this is the sign that my readers are, my readers and viewers are becoming more familiar to the way that I talk and think, and that sometimes I don't need to provide super concrete illustrations for them to understand the point. It could also mean that perhaps some of my explanations are more lucid than I realized. That's possible, but in any case, this notion of the interstice, clearly it's a very important notion in my recent work. I haven't written about that notion yet a great deal, but it would certainly be tackled a lot in my next book, in my book on introverted intuition. This notion of the interstice is simultaneously very important in this whole picture of individuation, and at the same time, at least to my mind, it's not something that I have talked about very concretely as of yet. I have said that you encounter an interstice, like a fissure in the fabric of reality, where there is a joining up of oceanic experience and regimented reality when you experience a surge in energy. Now, that is true, but someone might argue maybe more concrete illustrations could be provided so that these ideas can be actioned into actuality. It was interesting because a viewer did ask about the interstice and what they are. I think it was a viewer that has not seen all my videos, and there's lots of them, so I can understand that. Another viewer responded that they are essentially, the interstices are synonyms of Eureka moments. And yes and no, and that's why I kind of wanted to discuss this. But while I was thinking of how to approach this question, more insights came, and which is why this might end up being a two-part video on the interstice. And if that's the case, so much the better, because again, it's a key notion, and I want to make sure that, in a sense, not only that you understand it, you grasp it, but that I have grasped it to a sufficiently high level of resolution. The pattern in my mind is clear now, but have I grasped it to a sufficiently high level of resolution, that particular pattern, so that I can convey it, I can explain it in words to you? Many ways, this is the ultimate test of whether I have sufficiently grasped it. Have I grasped only the contours of it, the outline, or have I grasped the details too, at least to a sufficient level of familiarity that I can share it, I can narrate it? The INFJ archetype, the narrator, is here invoked. So when the viewer said the interstice is a Eureka moment, it's like, yes and no. I would say that the Eureka moment is an example of an interstitial experience. It is the meeting of an interstice, but it's only a subset. Okay, so if you like, the idea is that there are more interstices than Eureka moments. Okay, I mean, if, as I have said, we find ourselves in interstitial space, a space of possible interstitial experiences. So some people talk about ecstatic experiences, near-death experiences. We have to become familiarized with this new notion, particularly for the NI-dominants that most of us are. No doubt there are translations into vocabularies of other types too. But for NI-dominants, I talk about these interstitial experiences, right? Experiences where there is a joining up of the oceanic quality of our NI-dominant's inner world and the non-oceanic, concrete, regimented, law-like, form and norm-based reality the external world, the world in which we live, our day-to-day. We can't ignore that there is this world there that we are a part of, we are in. Interstitial experiences belong to those experiences that NI dominants have. And among those there are just different types of experiences that you may have that deserve the label interstice or interstitial experience, and the Eureka moment is one of them. We don't have, I mean, at least I don't know about you, you can let me know in the comments. We don't have like Eureka moments several times a day. Like what I would personally call a Eureka moment in my life, if I have one every few days or like one a week that I would call it legit Eureka moments, I'd consider myself lucky. Like it's a good week, or it's a good few days. Like I certainly don't have like several Eureka moments a day. If you do, perhaps it's a semantic issue. Perhaps you have a sort of lower threshold for what you would consider a Eureka moment. In any case, Eureka moment is something that has to do with, it's something that happens in the area of understanding. You grasp a connection, you grasp a link between patterns hitherto not seen as linked. The connection happens first in your unconscious, as the work of NI. It is in the nature of the unconscious to project itself into conscious life, to structure conscious life. So there is a projection of that link between the patterns into the world. And when that linking happens in the world, we call it a Eureka moment, but it's still mental. I mean, broadly speaking, we're still talking about an inner process. Whereas an interstitial moment can be external. It can be external. I mean, it involves the psyche, of course, it always does. The psyche is an embodied thing, right? Psyche and body are kind of two sides of the same coin, the human. Sometimes the interstice can sort of manifest itself primarily through the prism of the so-called mental, and Eureka moments belong to such, to that category of the primarily mental. Proof is you might do nothing with it. Whereas there's interstices, like if I'm talking to my boss, I'm having a conversation with my boss, and at some point, just a flash through my mind where I'm like, what I'm saying is getting to this. It sounds a little odd, it sounds a little unlike what I would typically say to her, but that's me, that's NI talk that I think will be productive. And I just say it without having too much of the compliance fear of what the consequences might be if she doesn't take it well. I mean, in that particular scenario, it's not that clear which comes first. It's a mental process, there always is, but it was also caused by these conversations I was having with her. It was a very physical social interaction in the world, right? So certainly not just an inner thing. Arguably, first of all, an outer thing. And there's a lot of types of interstice that belong to this category as well. And if you take them all together, they do. The opportunity for them occurs several times a day, for sure. Unlike the more rarer subspecies or subform called the Eureka moments. Okay, well, it's time is running out, so I will leave it at that for now. Guys, don't forget you can support me on Patreon. I'd be so grateful if you did. I need you more than ever. The link is below. You know that for a few bucks a month or a year, you get access to cool perks as well, like access to our Discord server and to like a nice vault of long format deep dives videos that I record exclusively for patrons. So if you love my content, if you like when I go deep, I recommend that you check that out. Don't forget as well about my 2 books on the INFJ, on the outer world of the INFJ, the infinite soul, and on the inner world of the INFJ, the Ecstatic Soul. If you want a deep understanding of the type, absolutely get these books. The links to these books are below. Give a like to this video, guys. You know it helps massively with referencing, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.